Here we go. All right, let me clear my screen, and we are in there.
Know what y'all do in England. The so-called black Brits. We know what y'all do in England. Y'all run from the white people.
What do we do?
But I'm gonna show you what we do to ours. Okay, when they want to start some stuff with us. I'm gonna roll my beautiful. I'm gonna roll that beautiful.
The whole world watched your ancestors ran from dogs and water hoses and got spit on.
And the whole world watched you niggas get packed.
Okay, let's hold on. Let's watch this beautiful bean footage right here.
The whole world watched you niggas get rounded.
I can't show that.
He a floater.
Y'all know gravitating to it.
We're playing music. We don't play music.
You think microphone check did
There's
anything?
literally a documentary called.
Now, this is TikTok, or I call it TikTOXIC. But you got grown men that sit at FBA to hop on my panel to say this doesn't give the lineage a bad look. So I'm not care about what people think. You don't care about what people think about us or say about us. You know when people say negative things about us, that turns to laws next. Law and order. Legislators start to pass legislative laws. When we allow people to dictate who we are and we give them some evidence of that, you okay with that? I mean, like, what happened to Black excellence? That's my next title. That should have been his title. What happened to Black excellence, yo? Some of us been getting it from the mud so long that we think we're a pig. We think we're pigs. Some of us been getting it from the mud for so long that we think we are pigs. They have no problem with these exchanges. I'm trying to learn. They got Revenue here. You know, Revenue love this. Revenue hates when you intellectually beat him up. When you force him to use his brain, he hates that. You see what I do to him. You see what Trina right now she does to him. He looks like a fool when you challenge him to think. But this right here, this going back and forth, just calling names. Oh, this is his world.
What's that?
They didn't even bring a microphone check at the hip hop.
Yeah.
The people in the Bronx are debunking it.
They didn't even bring that non-irrelevant.
The people in the Bronx, the Black Spades are debunking it, nigga.
And Revenue is the typical tether who's so jealous of Treat. Now he has an issue with all of us. Like that's how sick he is. That's his sickness. But it's not just him. We see other folks that have an issue with Turk Nasheed and they just can't keep the issue with him. They extend it on all of us. And that's sickness. And that's toxic. You're mad at him, therefore you're mad at me, because I'm not mad at him the way you are. And you're mad at me. But these are sick men. I don't know what's going on in their life, but they become obsessively jealous of another grown man.
You're a liar.
No, I'm not. Michael Wayne TV, nigga. It's all
stay down south cooking.
It's a whole bunch of motherfucking
stay down south
channels that are debunking your tether ass propaganda.
You don't know nothing.
And another thing these tethers do, these tethers like to argue as lone wolves, right? These tethers love to argue as lone wolves. Now, what they do is with us, they argue against us and they argue with us like we're a monolith, right? They argue against us like we're monolithic. But when it's their turn for us to get on them, they want us to get on them only as a lone wolf, not their nation, not the country. Meanwhile, they get on our whole, but they expect us to get on them as an individual and leave their whole alone. But they don't talk to us as individuals. They talk to us as a whole.
Shut your dumb ass up, you refugee. You're a refugee. You're a floater ass refugee ass nigga.
Go barbecue or raccoon.
You're a refugee ass nigga. We have the documents.
We founded hip hop. That's well documented.
But a third world opinion.
That's well documented. Without his very
all you got is a third world opinion that we don't give a shit about.
The term hip hop was coined by African Bambaataa. It wasn't coined by no cornbread, by no cowboy, by none of those people y'all try to. They felt no. It's well documented.
It ain't well documented shit. It's tether propaganda, nigga. And we debunking all that dumb ass shit. We're debunking tether propaganda, nigga. We're not listening to tether propaganda, nigga. We're not listening to it, dude. Shut the fuck up. We're not listening to your tether propaganda.
Is named after Kool Herc.
No, it's not, nigga. The fucking people in the Bronx, right there in the projects.
You're not from the Bronx. You're not from New York. You don't know.
Yes, I don't give a fuck. New York is in America. It ain't in the Caribbean, nigga. The fuck you talking about?
And we run
America,
New York.
Nigga.
You don't know nothing about New York.
Shut your dumb ass up.
You don't know nothing about.
And yeah, that sounds a good point that he made. Like revenue and tethers act like New York is in the Caribbean. Like, yo, you know you're still in our country, right? Like, dude, like knock it off, man. But now, does this make sense when I explain hyperselectivity and the humanitarian tethers?
In the Caribbean, you niggas floated here, nigga.
DJ Kool Herc is well documented as the founder of hip hop.
No, he's not, nigga. The people in the Bronx not even debunking that shit.
At this point, it's not even debatable no more.
The people in
I can help with the delineation.
It does not fall up under the 14th.
We don't want to get associated with it. No, we don't want to be associated with it.
Go home.
I don't want people to think black. I don't want people to think Afro-Caribbean.
Go home and build your shit up.
I don't want people to think that, Afro-Caribbeans didn't fall for their independence.
You didn't fight for shit, nigga. You niggas still got kings and shit, nigga.
Y'all can keep that.
Yeah, I don't even, look, he just said that the hip-hop debate is a foregone conclusion that we should not debate that no more. Dude, who the hell in their right mind debates foundation Black American success, world success, to Jamaicans? Like, dude, will you knock that off? That's a foregone conclusion. Nobody in their right mind will debate what foundation Black Americans have accomplished and achieved to Jamaicans. Dude, stop it.
I don't want to be
associated. Have a king. Is, man. I feel
you have
if any way we can help with the delineation,
you have a king.
It'll be good. It'll be good for us because our numbers are shoot up.
All that don't worry.
You hear this guy? His numbers, dude. You come here as degenerates. You guys ain't hyper selected. You guys, a lot of you came over here illegally, undocumented. Yeah, this dude has lost his mind. Like, he thinks that he's part of the hyper-selected class of immigrants.
Happy bullshit.
We don't want to be associated with that.
Don't worry, be happy.
If any way y'all could tell me to help with the delineation process, and I could, convey the message to my
dude. You hear this guy? Yeah, start with staying out of our spaces. I mean, how are you helping us delineate if you're still in our face? You dig? Like, we're delineating. We're saying you can stay over there. We stay over here. But you're in our spaces, but you're claiming, yo, you want to help us delineate, stay out of our spaces, my guy.
My African brothers and my Caribbean brothers, that'll work out perfectly.
Go home.
We the foundation of America. We found a city, something that FBA never did. So we the real foundation.
Whenever our forefathers
we make more money
of this freaking country,
we own more houses per capita. We just outperform on every single metric possible.
You idiot. $2 million in wealth, nigga.
We don't want to be associated with people that ran from dogs to water hoses.
Show us your stats, nigga. Show.
He don't want to be associated with us, but he called himself a Black American. Dude, start with delineating yourself. Refer to your original name, Jamaican American. If you want to help us delineate, bro, start delineating. Use your delineated terms, right, to identify yourself, which are Jamaican American. You can't help us delineate if you're still hanging on Black American.
What's your stats?
I don't want to be associated.
Show us your people's stats. Show them. Shut the fuck up and just show your stats, nigga. I guarantee you, you're on every third world goddamn condition for people on the goddamn planet, dude. You're a third world conditioner, bro. You're not. Yeah. You're not even.
Y'all want to brag about spending power? You only contribute 13% of the population.
You're unqualified.
Y'all only contribute 6% of the GDP. That's like you have $100, you take away $6. America don't even need y'all no more. That's why they got black fatigue. Y'all useless.
Man, you sound like a tether in his finest, bro.
Y'all got high crime rates. We don't need y'all.
Let me guess.
I'm sorry.
Let me guess. They need y'all. Let me guess. Revenue.
The city of New York, we don't want to be associated with FBA.
Man, you sound like a fool, man. That's creepy, bro. We running out of words for y'all, man. We running out of words because that's some insidious, creepy shit. You think they want to replace us with y'all?
Why I sit up night and day thinking about tethers?
You a weirdo, bro. You a weirdo.
Y'all jealous because we
out. Man, it ain't gonna change until we start beating y'all ass, man.
That'll never happen. You know that would never happen.
We gonna start beating y'all ass.
Come on, you know that would never happen.
How you outperforming us and you getting deported?
Come on,
explain that to us. Explain that.
We're gonna have to start shooting the fair one, man. We gonna start doing.
You come on. We saved y'all New York.
You didn't save shit, dude. You people came here and pulled up a fucking seat at the table.
We had to save our black. We had to save y'all when the
we had to save you with our HBCUs, our D9s, in New York. So our fucking civil rights organizations, our legacy organizations. We saved you bum ass niggas.
We don't want to be associated with SNAP beneficiaries, Section 8 lovers.
How you save us when your ass ran from your own country and y'all still
So this is the type of content y'all want to hear as grown 60-year-old adults, but y'all want to hear my type conversation. So I'm gonna play what y'all want to hear.
The white tea man, make that make sense. Miss,
you don't have a country to brag on.
You don't even follow up.
You don't have a country to brag on.
You can be deported.
You're in a white man country. The founding fathers are John Adams, George Washington. None of them was FBA. Not one FBA. Not one FBA was a part of the Constitution.
You ran your dumb ass over here.
Y'all wasn't even citizens until 1868.
Make that make sense.
Y'all wasn't even citizens until 1868.
We're gonna record this shit too. We're gonna make y'all say, we're gonna beat y'all ass and we're gonna make y'all say this shit right. That's what we're gonna do. Y'all gonna denounce all that little fuck shit y'all talking about. Y'all don't run shit. Y'all don't even got the numbers to be talking like this, bruh. You don't.
It's crazy. You're right. It's crazy. So I don't know how we
shut the hell up, man.
In every metric possible. It's crazy. Y'all been here for 400 years. We come here late 1800s and we outperform y'all.
Y'all come here.
He ain't getting no that late 1800s. Stop lying. Outperformers. Okay, so look, we got to start asking these tethers like we do the Pan-Africans. Revenue, you outperformed us, right? Where are your tangibles? What can we look at in today's American society and say, hey, that was produced by those hard-working Jamaicans? We got to start talking to them like we talk to the Pan-Africans. What have you guys produced in America that you guys are so hard workers and you're outperforming us, bro? What have you guys, contributed to? Like, we need to see some of this stuff.
Cosplay.
Been here way longer.
And then here's the other key point. Everything of greatness has a root. Bro, if it was true that you guys come from a stock of outperformers, we would see a resemblance of that, at least a remnant of that in Jamaica. We would see a sign of it in Jamaica if that was true. Do we?
I don't want y'all tethering no our successful.
You can't even count.
You a troll, bro.
You can't even count.
I'm sorry. I don't want my tax.
Tether.
I'm sorry. I don't want my tax dollars going to
tether.
And this is what the TikTok spaces are reduced to. We went from delineation, reparations, black excellence to this. Tether. and just arguing, just roasting, mudslinging contests. And this ain't just this channel. I'm seeing it, especially on TikTok. This is almost normal. This is normal interactions with tethers and FBAs on TikTok.
Tether.
Get out the way, bitch. Get out the way.
Oh my God.
That's what's wrong with y'all. Y'all need to get the fuck out the way.
We out y'all way. We are located in New York, Miami, and those areas. We're not in Alabama, Mississippi.
And a grown FBA, well, a supposed FBA guy, you hear, this is TikTok, and a grown fake FBA guy told me, because I said I wanted to help, I said I'm joining TikTok to help clean it up from stuff like this. And he said, oh my God, you sound like a narcissist. No, I sound like somebody who wants to do some in-house cleaning. And the way I clean it up is I'm going to provide the clean glass of water. This is the dirty glass of water. I'm going to provide the clean glass of water. Okay? Clean conversations.
Mississippi, Missouri, St. Louis, Memphis. We're not in those areas. I'm sorry. With a high crime rate, low wage job, we're not in those areas. I'm sorry.
You're in those areas.
Nah, we in New York, Miami, along the East Coast.
I brought all them rats, roaches.
We're not in the South where you got white people running around with Confederate flags and y'all do nothing. I'm sorry. We
don't care about the Confederate flags.
Sorry.
They can fly their flags. They losers.
Yeah, and they fly their flags in y'all face. Y'all
they losers, nothing. And we won the Civil War. So you can fly that little bullshit.
Civil War. Y'all wasn't even a part of the Civil War till 6 months ago, bro.
You a goddamn
nothing to do with the Civil War.
That's what I'm saying. Why we even talking?
You know what? Don't even.
Man,
don't even.
Lincoln, the president acknowledged us.
Don't even. He don't even know what he talking about with his ass and ran.
He a refugee.
Now y'all tethering off the Civil War, which was two white people fighting against each other over the slave trade. Now y'all want to tell that dude we got something. No,
and the North was getting their ass until they.
Yeah, did this fool say the slave trade? The Civil War, 1862. The slave trade is like 1580s. This guy's I'm telling you, it's a buffoon.
After the Civil War, you was still a slave.
I got family that fought in the Civil War, you bitch ass nigga.
Yeah.
Don't disrespect my ancestors, nigga. I got family, nigga. That's
they were slaves before the Civil War, and they were slaves 3 years
Your
after the
family ain't fought no revolution, you flip-flop fleeing ass.
The Civil War ended in 1865. Y'all was still slaves until 1868.
But you can be deported, and I cannot.
I'm a 14th Amendment citizen just like you.
No, you ain't. Oh, no, the hell you ain't. Your mammy
and that shit getting ready to get revoked.
Y'all could pray the 14th Amendment get revoked, but guess what?
All that shit.
If they get rid of the 14th Amendment,
shut up.
We gonna start deporting anchor babies.
Guess who else is? If they get rid of the 14th Amendment, guess who else is an alien in America? Black Americans.
You sound like a fool.
You're only a citizen
they ain't getting
under
rid of
the 14th Amendment.
They
just
showing
like
how it don't apply to you anchor babies. That's what's going on. It don't apply to you.
The Chinese case in 1868 already proved that's well documented.
Don't matter, nigga. Just like y'all said, we wasn't
everybody
gonna
in America.
Just like y'all thought Kamala wasn't gonna lose, nigga.
Yo, they have nothing. They have nothing
all the shit y'all was
explicitly.
talking. Now look, y'all gonna get the same shit with this.
Y'all have no.
We coming to knock at your door first, nigga. We sending all refugees back, starting with you, numero uno.
Yeah, y'all won't come to New York with that. Come on, y'all know that.
Fuck out of here. The niggas in New York be whooping y'all ass. What you talk about?
What people in New York whipping our ass? Let's be real.
We still run every borough, nigga. Y'all just present.
What
y'all
borough?
just loud and wrong.
Name a borough that Black Americans is running.
Nigga, every last one of them still.
We run Brooklyn. We run Queens. We run Bronx.
We run the South that you keep talking about.
We run Harlem. We run all the boroughs.
Y'all just trying to break even. Y'all just trying to break even. What y'all leading
like I said, I could sit up here proud to say that. I could sit up here proud to say Afro-Caribbeans run New York.
Y'all more babies than y'all having out there. That's what's going on. That's y'all numbers you need to be proud of.
Why would we go in the South when it's just
but
nothing
your
but
women
low
don't even want to
wage
have
jobs.
y'all babies.
We don't want to go to the South. Are you crazy?
Why would you come somewhere where another black man owns some bitch? You basically at disadvantage.
White people
black people own everything in the South.
We
own land.
It's so much black
white people own 98% of the land in America. What land y'all own? Y'all only contribute 6% of the GDP out of the 30.
You sound crazy, bro.
I sound crazy. Look it up.
Yes.
Look it up.
You might learn that shit at the immigration system. Like you learned that shit
out of the 27 to 30 trillion dollars annually, y'all only contribute about 6% on a good year to
Shower
the GDP.
Posse, shut it. You so broke. That's why he only got 4 coins. You ain't giving him no money.
That's it. Oh God, he projecting.
You the only one, your broke ass. Shut up. Shower Posse. You need to take a shower.
Most of y'all down Southians, y'all come from sharecroppers, people that signed to be slaves after slavery ended.
Look how
your ancestors continue to pick cotton until the 60s. Let's be real. Your ancestors was picking cotton until the 60s. I'm sorry, we don't want to be associated with that no more. I'm sorry. We want to be left alone and keep progressing in America. I understand why y'all talk about it every single day. Y'all complain every single day. We take y'all opportunities and all that. I'm sorry that y'all want to snap and y'all don't want to work. Y'all want to contribute.
Lion's bar.
And now y'all talking about voting for the cows, but y'all want reparations. Y'all. That's why I understand now why y'all have low graduation rates. I understand now. Y'all have low IQ.
We got low what? Graduate what? What's it again?
Low graduation rate.
You can't read. And I can see
you couldn't even say
why
it.
You can't read with your tether phone.
I'm sorry. We want to help.
That fake ass tethered tongue. Nigga, shut your ass up.
How can we help with the delineation process? Is there any way we can help with the delineation process where we don't want to,
Hey man, what you look like, man?
You can go on my page and see how I look. You can go on my page.
You don't never want to show your face.
You can go on my page, see how I live, how I look, how I'm doing.
I'm about to go on your page right now.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm not on welfare. I go to $10,000. You feel me? I don't want to be associated with y'all. I'm sorry. I mean, it's cool. Some of our greatest leaders came and assist y'all with the Harlem Renaissance, like J.A. Rogers, Arthur Schomburg, Marcus Garvey. But at the end of the day, man, we don't want to be associated with people with low IQ.
That ain't even your ancestors. You naming some people that ain't even your.
You know what I mean?
Turn your camera on. I turn my camera on. You'll never turn your camera on with Tariq. Turn your camera on.
We don't want to be associated with them.
You're a descendant.
Turn your camera on, nigga. I turn my camera on first, nigga. What's up? Turn your camera on.
You sound like a weirdo. You want to see a man
no,
face.
Nigga, no
like
weirdo,
you
nigga. Turn your camera on, nigga.
You think I want to FaceTime you?
Exactly. You stuttering now, nigga. Turn your camera on.
You think I want to FaceTime you? I don't want y'all doxing me.
That's the best way to show it, nigga. You talking all that shit like you got something going on. Turn your camera on, nigga.
You're a weirdo.
I bet you won't.
You're a weirdo.
Cause you a bum and you living in some bullshit ass apartment with a roommate. You ain't got shit going on, nigga. Funky foot ass nigga. Athlete's foot having ass nigga. Swamp foot.
It's all right. It's all right.
You ain't got shit going for yourself, nigga.
But how can we help with the nigga like me? Since y'all want to delineate so bad, how can we help?
Turn your camera on. Quit deflecting.
How can the tethers help with delineation?
Nigga, you want to talk, but you don't want to show how you live. I turn my camera on. Quick.
What can we do to help with delineation?
Told you, leave, nigga, us alone.
We not in y'all business. We not in y'all business.
Now.
It's 43 million of y'all.
Right now.
We not in y'all business. We not in the South. We not in the South. We not in y'all neighbor. We not in y'all neighborhood.
Create a culture.
We don't live on Section 8. We don't live in a project.
Instead of fucking
we
away
out y'all
from
way.
That's the solution.
We in our houses.
That's the solution.
We doing business in New York.
That shit and go do it in your homeland and not
we not in your business.
You got it off us though. So that shit belong to us.
How we got anything off?
All the shit that you got here in America belong to us.
You sound crazy.
How we got anything belong to us? That sounds crazy.
Leave that shit on your way out, nigga. That shit belong to us. Those are our resources. That shit belong to us. Everything that you got in this motherfucking country belong to FBA,
y'all
nigga.
Can keep government assistance.
It belongs to us.
If that's the resources y'all talking about,
here, nigga.
Please stop.
If the resources is government
and we
assistance,
support goddamn Trump sending you bitch ass niggas home all day long, nigga. Fuck it. If he want to do some ill ass shit on you niggas, let him. Fuck you niggas.
At this point, I don't give a fuck what happened to y'all, man. Because the niggas like you, man, y'all done fucked it up for the rest of y'all people, nigga.
Yep.
It's just what it is now, nigga. Fuck y'all. Y'all gonna be, it's a rap. It's a rap, bro.
It's fuck y'all,
We the only ones been propping you ashy niggas up. We the only ones been allowing y'all to have a lane, nigga. That lane is up. Stay in your lane, nigga.
We want to delineate. We want to help with the delineation process. Y'all been talking about delineation for 5 years.
Go.
We don't want to be associated with nothing y'all got.
You can be doing your shit now.
You keep saying the same dumbass shit.
Because I want to know what
one more time.
We keep telling you the same answer, dumbass nigga. Go home.
You keep saying that.
Nigga.
We are home.
Want to be.
We in New York. We are home.
No, you ain't home, nigga.
God,
New York is not in the Caribbean, nigga. The Caribbean is not in the New York, nigga.
Y'all ain't outside in
this dumbass up, nigga.
We not in y'all
about to have a field day.
Name the Black America. What's the name of the Black American country?
What?
Name.
Man, I'm in a black community right now, nigga. Right now.
I'm in one too, a thriving ass black community.
Me too, right now.
Me too.
Show me a thriving Jamaican rich neighborhood.
Springfield medium income is 200,000. I'm in a wealthy
Show me a rich ass Jamaican and Haitian neighborhood in America, nigga. Show me 10 of them. Show me 10 of them. That ain't no nigga. Fuck you fucking
the richest city in America.
Get the fuck out of here, nigga. You floated there, nigga. That's not your city.
I'm in the richest city in America.
You bitch ass, you poor ass nigga.
I'm in the richest city. I'm in the richest city in America.
That's not your city, and you're broken poor there, nigga. That's not your city. You didn't create shit there, nigga. That's not your city.
Like, he trying to tether off that mayor, that mayor that said as a
and them Arabs about to have a field
powered by immigrants.
Bro, we not in Milwaukee. We not in Ohio. We not in.
Yeah, I'm in Ohio, nigga. Yeah.
Oh my God.
You niggas are in Ohio, but you're on your best behavior.
Yo, Cincinnati is the worst.
You're on your best behavior, nigga.
Cincinnati look like a third world country.
You're on.
Man, you
your best behavior in these
cities. Where the Bengals play look like a third world country. Cincinnati, nice.
I've been to every city in Ohio.
Man, you great. I'm an hour and a half.
I've been to Dayton, Cleveland, Cincinnati, Youngstown.
Yeah, you a hoe.
Nigga, and we been to your
Boise State.
I've been to all that shit. We been to your homeland and we can't fathom your shit.
Hey,
run down with needles on the floor.
That's why he mad, bro.
Security guards and CBS.
Can we
be associated with that no more?
Yeah, because we've been in his homeland and we can't fathom the kind of poverty he got. We can't even understand. We rushing to get home from that shit.
I'd have been a Lexington.
Big Dog, I'm talking. Hey, fuck him right now. Hey, Big Dog, I'm talking to you right now.
Yes, sir.
I've been a Lexington everywhere.
Shut your ass up. I'm talking to my brother right now. He mad because Ohio full of FBAs. I'm from Cleveland. I'm in Columbus right now.
Yes, sir.
People all through this bitch. Cincinnati whooping all. You see what Cincinnati did? Whooping them white people's ass.
I'm already
knowing. Shit going on. So he talking that crazy. He got a heavy dose of FBA.
Who want to go to Ohio?
And I can tell when I was on your ass, you start stuttering, nigga.
Who want to live in Ohio?
Who want to go to your
You actually think people want to move to Dayton?
Who want to go to your shanty town?
Ohio's a field.
Who want to go to your shanty town? Who want to go to your District 9
Ain't nobody
shanty town?
Ain't nobody running to Ohio.
You come from a District 9 shanty town.
People running to New York. People running to Florida to live.
You a District 9 cam dweller,
Ain't nobody
nigga.
running to no Mississippi to live.
You are a District 9 cam dweller, nigga.
Nobody running to Ohio. Nobody running to Youngstown. Nobody running to Cincinnati.
But it's some paper
Nobody running to
nigga. Mississippi's fucking beautiful, bro.
Shower posse, bring y'all asses up here, man. If y'all ain't gonna come up here and talk y'all shit, y'all some hoes in the comments.
Some straight hoes,
bro. We done
straight hoes. We got 4 spots,
bro. We done came to New. We done
because they pussy.
New York came to Ohio.
I get revenue credit. At least he come up here and sound like
circle. Can I tell you a story?
Yes, sir.
I'm in Dallas right now, man, and the story goes that when the Jamaican posse came down here, they kind of integrated with the FBAs. Then they got a little beside themselves. So them motherfucking tethers, man, they hung a black woman out here, right? They hung her. They did some crazy shit. They hung her. And all of South Dallas, they joined together and packed these niggas out of here, dude. They are the whole South Dallas joined together. They put all their beefs aside. They said we got to get these niggas out of here immediately. And do you know that Jamaicans down here in Dallas are on their best behavior, bro? On their best behavior, bro.
Cause it's
So
real
this nigga over here
down
talking
there.
about this shower policy shit. The all of South Dallas came together, nigga. It didn't matter where you was from. Them niggas got together.
I love that, man. That just gave me chills, man.
Yes.
And I heard that shit hurt me, man.
We still in Dallas.
I ain't even hear about that.
Yeah, you're on your best behavior, nigga.
Shut up,
You're on your best
behavior. You're on your best behavior, nigga. Somebody mute his ass.
Packed you niggas out here, nigga. Packed you niggas out.
Cause I want to hear this. Cause yeah, that's real. I ain't even hear about that, bro.
Yeah, hey,
y'all bring it, and y'all gonna bring us together. Keep doing shit like that. Y'all bringing us together, man. I hate that sister had to go through some
to come
shit
together
like that.
and succeed.
And
I want y'all to do better.
Stay away from these tethers.
I want y'all to do better.
If we come together,
I want y'all to come together and do better.
It's gonna be nothing but V.
I want y'all to come together, go fight the message that
Listen, I'm in Ohio.
Texas,
it's gonna be nothing but V for you.
I'm about to reload.
It's gonna be nothing but V for you.
We want y'all to come together
and help.
Yeah, we coming together. We coming together. We together. We coming together.
Yeah,
we coming together.
Help your brothers that being oppressed by the Mexicans.
Yeah, go help your District 9 shantytown, nigga. You live in a District 9 camp dweller. You get the fuck out of here, bro.
I live in New York City, the richest city in America.
You come from a District 9 camp.
I live in the richest city in America, the most expensive city in America. Are you serious?
Revenue, turn your camera on, bro.
Why you want to see a man's face? Are you gay?
Nah, cause you fucking live in the project, nigga.
Yo, if you wanna admire how I look, go on my page, bro.
We wanna see your project, nigga.
You got 3 videos, bro.
What?
We want to see your project.
I got 2 videos, and one of them's me talking.
Bro, you could click my Instagram. You could go on my Twitter. You can see how I look, how I live, everything. You could do that. You want to stay in a man's face. It's kind of questioning to me.
You ain't got no respect.
It's questioning to me.
Please don't reproduce in this country, man. Don't have no kids. Go get a vasectomy. Go back to your country, whatever, man. Like, we don't need none of these. Y'all really don't understand. Y'all some hoes, man. Y'all really are.
Yo, but it's been fun.
Hey, Circle, they not even understanding what the next step is.
Hey, it's been fun. I gotta go start day trading.
It's all bad.
Fun. I gotta go start day trading. Y'all have fun talking about us.
You ain't got no money.
They don't understand the next step to this is all bad. They don't get it. It's all bad.
The next step, it's all bad for them. I told you, we gonna start beating their ass, bro. That's what it's gonna take.
Yes, it's all bad.
Start beating their ass. Watch. Mink type shit. That's what's about to start happening. But I'm tired of that shit. Like, y'all will never be saying the shit. We ain't never heard y'all say the shit that's while we in y'all restaurants getting your little food and shit. With y'all, your little looks, and you ain't never heard y'all talk like this.
Look, and
like you said,
most of when you tell them that type of shit, bro, they get to putting that emotional and all that. Why you so angry and all this shit? All right, nigga slap the fuck out your ass one of these days. I'm telling you, they gonna run across some shit out here, bro. No count. Cause ain't nobody emotional. We wouldn't even do nobody like that though. That's the thing with us.
Right.
No respect with our shit. We got all type. We know how to really build a dialogue with our shit. We don't just come.
I gotta light up my joint right now, man. This nigga got me started. He got me mad at him.
Y'all might know my
I was just listening to the bitch ass nigga. I ain't want to argue with the whole ass nigga. I ain't gonna lie. Fuck him.
I respect you though, but I just had sometimes I'm new to this. I've been yelling at the phone for a minute, so I gotta get some rocks off for a minute. I ain't there yet.
I got some shit. We got some shit to say to these niggas. We gonna hold you on the back end too, nigga.
Cause I ain't used to this either, bro. Look, I'm from Cleveland. Like I said, I ain't got this many immigrants. Man, I ain't grow up.
Us Midwesterners, we're not used to this shit, bro. Us Midwesterners, we didn't grow up with this shit. We don't know nothing about this shit. These East Coast and West Coast.
I ain't gonna lie. I'm from Louisiana. I don't know nothing about these niggas.
Right, you don't either. Yeah.
This shit
you Louisiana niggas, and you the FBA Louisiana niggas be real, man. They be trying to Caribbean up the Louisiana and all that. But man, the FBA presence down there, they all the realest niggas too down there, man. For real, y'all got some real rich culture. I can't wait to come visit New Orleans. I can't wait to come visit down there.
Thanks, brother. It's love down here, man. Them folks can't fuck with our culture down here, bro. They try to though. I ain't gonna lie. Look, when you hear, like I was on a panel like a day or two ago with a woman, bro. Like I had told brother earlier, I had told Red that shit, man. The woman said she stayed in Alexandria, Louisiana, and the way she said that shit to her, it was like, damn, hold up. I wanted to tell her to say it again, but I like everybody, we on a panel with people, right? Niggas ain't trying to be rude, but it's shit me. I brung it back to that shit though, and I just broke out. I made up unbox that whole shit with me. Cause I'm like, hold up, how you with that accent though? Seriously? You feel me? That's a Caribbean accent. Oh
hey,
God,
and
bro,
y'all accent distinct. Y'all accent distinct. Y'all shit raw as fuck too though. Like y'all shit raw. Like
you can tell when it's your people though. You heard me. You know when it's me, bro, and when it's one of them. On God.
Yeah. It's just the energy.
What city? It don't matter what city it is. Like I'm from Cleveland, but my mother from Georgia. She my people from my mother in Georgia right now. She retired and went back home. She in Eastman. So my whole family from the South. You know, I don't even got I got brothers, sisters, nieces, and nephews. I ain't got no cousins. I ain't got no aunties. Everybody down south. That's why my mama went home. You feel me? So my culture is rich, and you can tell your people no matter what city, it's a dialect that we all got. Yep. Even if it's a different slang, even if it's a different variation like Baltimore or even Memphis or whatever, you can hear that twang, but you can still hear your people no matter what. Like Carlos Miller or somebody, he from Alabama, but you can hear that straight. What's the comedian?
Goddamn right. That twang, that's that balance.
It's a vibe to it.
Yeah,
it's an energy.
Yeah, it's a bop. You know what I'm saying? That we just got to our shit that don't nobody else got, and you can always tell whatever city these tethers from. You can hear them try to emulate it. Like even with like Kodak or other them, like these niggas sound like us, but you can just tell that they got that other swang to it. You know what I'm saying? It don't sound like us.
Nah, you know what it is? It's not natural.
Yeah, it's forced.
It's forced.
They're trying to hide their accent. Yeah. They want to blend in. And they know they still got to go home to that Caribbean ass household, but their parents still got that thick ass accent, so it's hard to shake it.
And their parents, most of them still speak that shit to them.
Yep.
They speak that shit, but they hide it.
Yep, they do.
I'm gonna go ahead and add you, Scooby.
What's going on now, brother?
I'm gonna go ahead and add you.
I followed all y'all, man. Let me follow you right now, Big Doe.
Yes, sir.
I got you.
I follow you already.
I just got the 50 followers, man, so I can turn my camera on. That's why I was so thirsty to turn my camera on. I like, shit, turn your camera on, nigga. I show you how I'm living, you show me how you live. And ain't no he trying to turn into some gay shit, nigga. You talking some rainbow shit. So I'm trying to keep it G. You talking your shit, you flex your shit then. I ain't even flexing. You the one flexing. So show us how you living. Tyreek always trying to get him to turn his camera on. He refused. So that's why I tried to get him to turn his camera on.
Because of one thing they know, like when they cut that camera on, man, everything, man, that shit shows. Niggas don't even gotta even go into no more, like too much talking with them after that. Like it's like, oh, okay, this is what I'm dealing with. Nigga, never mind. Them niggas don't even want to.
Hey, what FBA Red go? He taking a nap? He holding it down?
He probably getting it together and shit. Cause it's shit right now. I'm in Louisiana. It's 7:53. It's in the morning where bro ass said. I don't know what it is.
It's 8:53. It's 8:53 in the morning right here. I'm in Ohio.
I thought his ass out there in Chicago and shit. You know, we got the same time and shit.
That's Central Time, baby.
Oh God.
Now I love this app, man, to be able to connect with other riders, man. I love y'all niggas, man. I don't even know y'all, man. But I just love y'all. And your niggas are riders, bro. I don't even want to fuck with the riders, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, man, it ain't too many of us out this bitch neither, man. It is,
though. It is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
But I'm going to be real, bro. It's some confused ones, though. I ain't going to lie, bro. You see what we on. Like, it ain't no arguing with us, bro. We can agree to disagree, my nigga. And it ain't too many fucking disagreements, really.
That's because we true believers, man. We're true believers.
Oh God, I'm speaking on the ones that's with all this other shit, trying to identify with other shit, bro. That's cool. That's a package deal. You feel me? Like that's coming with what we already doing. Like we already know we indigenous, bro. We do got a very fucking small portion of African DNA. Like we not disagreeing with it or trying to dismiss it. Shit, we just basically done established our own fucking bloodline that like over here, and it's been over here. When them bitches came over here, they fucking weren't speaking no fucking no English. They got that from us. That was we taught them how to speak English.
Yep, right.
A lot of Europeans we had to teach how to speak English.
We taught them. Exactly.
We spoke English before most European countries spoke English, bro.
They did a number on our last. They just try to keep this information away from us, man. It's crazy. It's like a movie, bro. It's like it's not real, man. I can't believe this shit that we going through is for real. It's like watching motherfucking Winter Soldier with the fucking Captain America shit. It's like watching some shit like that. I can't believe this shit real though, but it is, and we fighting a real battle. Like, and they made us think it was. They made us think it was over. They made us think it was over. And when and that's what that movie The Matrix was really about. Like, that's crazy. Like,
you know what I feel like we watching, bro? I feel like we watching the writing of the next Bible.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like some Book of Eli shit.
Yeah, I feel like we like we're seeing it. Like we are some group that's gonna be written about in the next 5 or 10, whatever the fuck, and we gonna be in that bitch. Like, you know what I'm saying? We gonna be in that whatever the next holy book that's like gonna be in the world. We gonna be in that bitch, dude. We ain't gonna live to see it, but we gonna be in it.
That's crazy, man. It's just a lot, man.
Like, there's no way like all the whole world is coming at one group. Like what the who are we? Like the whole world wants to be us and coming at us. Like that's some other shit, bro. That's
something
like,
different.
That's some other shit, dog. Like we can't even put our hands on that shit. Our fingers on it.
That's wild, man. That's wild.
Not to get off on no esoteric shit, but you know, it is what it is.
Nah, it is what it is. Oh yeah, it's something to this, man. It's something to it. And then look back into this root work shit. You know, I mean, I ain't gonna call it no shit. I'm sorry, but looking back into that root work energy though, bro, on some real shit, bro.
Thank you for the gifts. Thank you, sis.
Yeah, man. Thank y'all too. I ain't even if I ain't said nothing. Thank y'all if y'all just send me anything too. Man, looking into that root working and all, bro, that done took us totally away from what that was, man. Like, and it ain't nothing but science. You know, studying the elements of Earth and things of that nature and shit, right? So with them, like when they come over here, they don't do none of this. Like, I'm gonna tell you, they play with the evil forms of it. You know what I'm saying? With us, we only play with nature, bro. We never took no no path with no type of evil entity or anything like that. Yep. Especially in no times of battle or nothing like that. We was already always resulting into our land, like we was holding it down, bro. We was just going back to the land and shit every time, bro. It was always something about the land and what the land and what God put down on this bitch and provided for us from the land, on the land.
We focus on keeping the righteous. We focused on keeping the righteous and keeping it in truth. Yeah, bro. And it worked out. Righteousness and truth. That's what we focus on.
It worked out a lot for us. Just why a lot of them, they countries, man, that's why they believe in that Christianity shit so strong. And it's like when you talk to one of them, bro, you can almost tell, man, yeah, this one of them ones right here. This nigga.
Don't you know what Malcolm X said? Like you'd be a fool to let your your enemy socialize your kids. Like when he said that, you think about what's actually happened to them. Like they actually have been socialized. Like 1-800-HELP shit with all these foreign countries be getting that aid and all that. Man. They stole most of the money, and then they still socialized them with the cheap ass rice and the cheap ass shit, giving them the Jesus saves and all of that little shit, and they socialized them. So this is the result of that. We getting the result of the ones that's been socialized by them with our money, by the way, because we was the ones donating to them, really ones taking care of them, but they gave them all of the education and then all this resentment and all this worship for them. That's why they over there building statues in Nigeria, erecting statues bigger than the one and they had to compete with the one in Rio because they had to be the biggest coons in the world. That's embarrassing. You know what I'm saying? Because they've been socialized by people that hate them. And this is what we get. So and I heard on one of the Hidden Colors, one of the most powerful things I heard on one of the old ones. He said, what did he say? He said, damn, I forgot it was the OG. He said when you feed them and it's like you'll socialize them for the next 1,000 years. You know what I'm saying? So they still in the middle of that shit. Mm-hmm. You know? So that's just how I look at it. You know, coming from religion, coming from Christianity. These motherfuckers is just brainwashed by the people that fed them.
Another thing that we gotta say is, man, we gotta tell these Africans that an enslaved African ain't the same as a colonized African. Them are two different things, dude.
Nah, see, we not African at all.
But what I'm saying,
we not African. Right.
I know that, but I'm saying like I'm not saying that no Africans came over here. I'm not ever gonna say that because it can be historically proven. 2%, whatever, 3%, whatever. It ain't a lot. and they were automatically bred out.
Already here, and most of us got native blood.
I agree with that.
In the 90% type shit.
Yeah, I agree with that. You know? I have lineage directly to Indian-looking people here in Mississippi, bro. So I agree with that, but I'm still Black American, right?
100%.
But what I'm saying is like that that those are like when they try to say that we come from Africans or whatever, but like an enslaved African is different from a third world colonized African. Those are two different people, two different entities. So even if an African did come over here during the enslavement, transatlantic slave trade, they are not the same African as these people are today. They're not the same. They were not. Those were not colonized Africans that came over here. They were enslaved Africans. They were still free as in form of like to be who they were, where they came from. These colonized Africans that we see today are a completely different thing than what our ancestors were. If you know what I mean. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I ain't got no ancestors from no I don't know nothing about that.
I don't have no direct ancestors from Africa either, but I'm just saying in the totality of the
some people do though. It's all
some people do.
I don't
think I do either. Not to say there's not one like 15, 20, 30 generations down there or whatever, but my family did our genealogy in Missouri in the 80s, in the late 80s, and there's not one African mentioned. And we go back to like the early 1800s in Missouri, native to Missouri. You know what I mean? So there was no Africans mentioned not one time. And for me to be descended from Africa, that means my grandparent had to be from Africa. No, I'm a descendant of Americans. I don't descend from no African. I'm an American descendant. That's what I am. Like, that's what science says. Like, we get our genetics from our grandparents, right? So if our grandparents didn't come from no African tribe, how do we descend from Africans?
Period. But yeah, like I said, I know for a fact where my people come from. I got Geechee for sure. Like I even knew that before I ever heard of Tariq or whoever. I know for a fact. My mama always told us. And one of my daughters got the middle name of my great-great-grandmother. It was my mother's grandmother. I was on the Geechee side, and my other grandmother on the other side was the Hills. I got Hill. I just looked. I don't know. I was in a page. I was in a space with Inky. She had looked up this. She had what's the National Native, the Native American whatever. I got the website. I found every last one of my people's last names on that bitch, and it's separated by tribe. It's separated by everything. So it's like it's dope as shit. Like you can find your people's names on there, and it actually tell you which tribe it was connected to. And and shows how those last names was our last names. And every name that I'm associated with is on that bitch. That's how I know I'm native, like 100%. Now look y'all last names on that bitch. That shit crazy. Somebody coming in with hella loud. Somebody mute themselves with that. Got hella background. I think it's daytime. Y'all hear that shit? Daytime, what's up? Oh. Yo. Ain't got no mods.
How you acting about no mods?
Damn, we ain't got no mods. Daytime, hella loud with the little ugly ass dog. Daytime. What you doing? Why you mouth breathing and shit?
What are y'all, man?
All the dirty thing that goes on. So nobody's ever been able to call me out and say I don't know what I'm talking about, because I do. Fortunately, there's enough Jamaicans that have already chimed in that already know that I know what I'm talking about. And I'm going to read comments. I'm not going to do it now, but I'm going to go through the comment section and respond to them on this video toward the end. So hold on for that. The other thing that there's one comment in there is like, you never loved Jamaica, you just took advantage or something. I'm like, I never loved Jamaica. First of all, you don't know me, and I don't pay attention to some of the negative comments because people are talking out their ass. But yeah, I used to collect. I collected everything. As I said on my other video, I had a Jamaican flag license plate on my truck here. Like, I've represented. I have so many of these hats that I should have a sale. Like, I collected, every time I saw a new hat, I would buy it. Didn't matter the cost. To be fair, I bought at the store where the craft market people are selling, right? I got their price. You know, it's $8 at the store, and then the craft market people will sell it for 12 or 15. But I got a lot of these hats, a whole collection. And if anybody, well, no, I'm not going to put it out there. But I have nothing, they're all in a dark closet. I put all this stuff away. The Marina too, I feel stupid wearing this. Because even though I bought it, I never wore it. I never liked these fishnet type marinas. I always thought they were silly. But I did buy one, and I don't wear it. You know, like all the jewelry, all the wristbands. I got a whole collection of Jamaican type of items that I have no use for. Like I said, they're in a dark closet that I don't even pay attention to. One day, I'll go to a Caribbean festival and end up having a little, not a booth, but I'll set up around the Caribbean festival and I'll be able to sell this stuff off. Probably not for the prices that I bought it, but I'm gonna switch out. I'm gonna switch myself out because I'm not comfortable in this. Hold on a second. Oh yeah, ooh, much better, much better. I feel 10 times better now. That's all fake stuff. Okay, so this is part 3 of a series that I'm doing. In case you just tuned in, the other 2 videos are on my channel. This is part 3 of the reasons that I don't like Jamaica anymore, that I really hate Jamaica at this point. And a lot of collectively people and experiences and different things that I went through in Jamaica has made that happen. So it's not just one thing. There's other comments. I said earlier that toward the end of the video, I'm going to go through the comment section and respond to those comments. I did respond to some of them, but not all. One of them, right off the get-go, was my pink shirt that I wore in my other video. And one guy said, "A fish that," which, if you're not Jamaican, you wouldn't know what that means. But he's basically calling me Bati boy, which I'm not, but it's okay. You know, it takes a tough guy to wear pink. I'm going to say it like that. So I deleted his comment and decided I wouldn't wear pink, so I wouldn't have more ammunition for some other smartass to come on. So for those of you that haven't watched the other video, let me give you a quick rundown. I moved to Jamaica in 2002. My years there were spent primarily in an apartment that a girlfriend of mine at the time had rented on my behalf, because I found the apartment in the Gleaner and I had to send money to her. She's in Old Harbor, to get her onto the north side to go check out those 2 or 3 apartments that I had already highlighted. And then she found the one that I ended up moving into, and she's like, "Oh, you're not going to like it." And I'm like, "Well, why?" And she's like, "You're going to love it." So I rented it sight unseen, just by what she told me. And sure enough, it was a nice apartment. Typically in Jamaica, if they have old folks or family members or whatever, we put them in the basement here, right? They don't have basements in Jamaica. So the homeowners of where I rented the apartment was upstairs. So the whole family lived downstairs and I lived upstairs. It divided up into 2. It's a left and right apartment, and quite spacious, actually. It was roughly about 1,000 square foot apartment. So I had my full living room. I had a full kitchen. I mean, you could literally walk around the kitchen very easily. You went down in a dining room area of that kitchen. You went down the hallway. You had a full bedroom off to the right, a bathroom, full bedroom to the back, and then the back door led off to the veranda. And so it was comfortable. It was comfortable. But I was there for a long time. So meaning, you know, sometimes there for 6 months, sometimes I'm there for a month, you know, or whatever the case is, you know, I'd come back here. So it wasn't a solid 22 years, but of that solid 22 years, all those trips that I took, if you combine them all together, I have a solid probably 6 or 7 years out of that 22, maybe more, maybe about a solid 8. I never did the math. So yeah, and then of course, you know, the trips coming back and forth. I'm gonna break down and I'm gonna talk about that apartment a little bit later because it's valuable information. If people have not been to Jamaica or they're thinking about moving there or even getting an apartment or some type of rental there, that part of my apartment experience is very valuable information. But I wrote up a list so I don't get sidetracked. An objective observer rather than a subjective and into it where you can't see it. Sometimes you have to step back to see clearly. And I see clearly now. I see clearly. And I wish it wasn't so. There are a lot of people are, oh, you're throwing hate and blah, 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 and you should be, you know, a little bit more positive. But it's hard to be positive. I tried really hard to come up with more than 4 things. It's not easy. It's not easy. And I'm going to read this one woman, and all the text that or not text, but all the comments that I have in the comment section of that video, she put it so good. She wrote about maybe 2 paragraphs of her response to my video, and she was right on point. And I'm going to read that in the comment section a little bit later. But the bottom line is, if I in my head, if I thought to myself, you know, let me give it another year, which I did. Trust me, 22 years was 5 years too long. At about year 18, I'm like, I got to get out of here. The problem in Jamaica, another problem of the many, I can't have a yard sale, right? I can't just advertise, you know, in the Gleaner, well, the immigration sale basically is what they would call it, but then set everything up out of my yard because I'm not going to have them come upstairs, but set everything in my yard and all that stuff, especially with the dogs in the yard like that. And then just put signs out and hope people will come by. It doesn't work that way. So the only reason I procrastinated for so long is because how do I get rid of my stuff? How do I get rid of my refrigerator and my stove and my couch and my coffee table and my bed and all the different tools that I own there? Yes, I had a lot of tools too. I had a couple of doors. I had a window, wheelbarrow. I had so many tools because I was working at one point on some captured land, which is another thing I'm going to get into with my stories, right? Yes, I had some captured land. And so how exactly am I going to get rid of this stuff? How am I going to sell it off? And I was offering other people, you know, a little kickback if they would sell it for me, and it just never worked out that way. So I would have, if it had been possible for me to just cut ties with Jamaica, say year 18 or 19 or 20, I would have. It was just not feasible for me to get rid of everything, at least get a couple of $1,000s out of, you know, my hard-earned cash that I paid for all that stuff, or I made, because I made a lot of my own furniture, and then exit out. It wasn't that easy. So what ended up happening, I'll probably tell this story at some point too. But what ended up happening is I had a friendship, or so I thought, with a Jamaican woman who turned out to be the same user that I was talking about before. But she did it in such a way that I never saw it. She was a puppet master. She was a master manipulator. A master manipulator, because I'm not easily fooled, but she fooled me for over 5 years. And she was like number 1 top of my list as far as friends go. Number 1 top of my list. I thought we were like this, but the whole time she had been using me. And I was blind to that for whatever reason, because I cared about her. And so, yeah, they say that you learn how to become a woman from your mother. And so her mother must have been as evil as she is, to do stuff like that she did. And I will call her out so that you can go watch some other videos. I have another platform about her because it's just evil, wicked, nasty, disgusting behavior that she pulled. And so that was, you know what that was? You know, when you're getting up, and I was airborne in the Army, and, you know, like you get up to the door and you're holding on to the door, and then the sergeant comes up and slaps your back to jump out of the plane, right? She was my sergeant to make me jump out. That's what happened, truth be told. And somebody else talked about that in the comment section too. Oh, I bet it had something to do with a woman. It surely did, but it wasn't all about the woman. It was about, you know, year 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8, all that stuff leading up to year 20. And then I finally got wise by 22 years, and I'm like, let me just get the hell out of here. It made no sense. You know, I enjoyed, don't get me wrong, there was a lot of enjoyable, I have a lot of memories. I have pictures, I have videos, I have some enjoyable memories. There was even, you know, a point, and I had a vehicle there. At first I had a bus, which we would call a van here, but they call a pickup truck a van. So it wasn't a van, it was a bus, because I thought I could work there, and I couldn't because I didn't have a work permit. You know, so I do have my old license plate from Jamaica. Notice it doesn't say Jamaica across the top, which is kind of weird, but what other plate would you have if you were driving around Jamaica? So yeah, I have that. There was a point where, you know, I couldn't go to the beach every day. There were certain points where that's why I made my own furniture. And so then I just came up with clever ideas. Like I showed in my last video about how I made the bamboo pencil holder and all that stuff. And then I forgot I have these because I took it out of my dark closet. This is just a strip of wood that I found at the beach, right? And so I put a little wire on the back of it so you can hang it on a wall. And I painted the flag on there. Yes, I painted it. It's not a sticker. And then I just put Jamaica like in a big letters. This one is from 2005, right? So just a little souvenir that I made for myself. I made quite a few of these, but I got the 2005, and then I have a smaller version of 2006 that I made. My friend Unique, who I'm still friends with. Remember I told you out of 22 years, I have like 2 friends in Jamaica, and she had gotten me a couple of things. I have a painting that she bought at the craft market. That's on my wall. And then I have this little clock, this little glass clock that she had bought me. And she doesn't even remember getting it for me. This is about 18, 19 years ago, prior to me leaving. It's rare that somebody does something for me or gets something for me. And of all the people I knew in Jamaica, nobody ever bought me a tangible thing. Ever. Never, did I say never? Ever bought me a tangible item where I can hold it up and go, oh, this person got this for me. Except for Unique. Unique bought me that painting, and she bought me this clock. And for that reason, I don't even care if the clock works, but I keep it as a souvenir to our friendship. And like I said, that's few and far between. And her and I are still friends today. She's over in St. Anne somewhere. Well, I'm not going to tell you where. But yeah, and so where was I at? So let me get onto the list, because I don't want this video to draw out longer than it needs to be. And I actually do need to, hold on a second. I do need to read from the list, because I did write it down, but I think some type of order needs to be done. Okay, so I'm going to talk first of all, and this goes again to my apartment rental that I had for that whole 22 years. Yes, I was the best tenant that they ever had. Never late on my, not one payment, not one. I was always on time. One of the things that I really want to talk about, and I think I had mentioned it in part of this video, is my apartment and the issues that I had with that. And then I forgot. So I had to squeeze this in. This part of the video got squeezed in post-production. So I was doing my editing, and yes, it's a long video, but I was doing my editing. I'm like, where's the part about my apartment? And I completely forgot. So let me break it down a little bit. As I said, and I did mention it, I know I mentioned it because I talked about how in Jamaica they don't have basements, right? So the old folks later on would end up not in a basement, but upstairs. And those 2 apartments have a door that separates the 2 apartments. But at a certain point in time, the landlord will remove the ply that's between the two doors, and then it'll become like, it won't be one apartment, it'll still be two, but there'll be access between the apartments. And then downstairs, if you go into their house proper, you'll see ply on this opening that will be eventually some stairs leading up to the apartments upstairs. Inside the house, the stairs aren't there right now because they still rent the two apartments, and I had one of them. So that's the setup. My apartment, I think square footage wise, may have been the same as the other side, but it felt bigger because I've been on the other side, and it was sort of like the same, but a little different. The square footage was probably pushing that 1,000 square foot mark that I had mentioned before, with the 2 bedrooms and the bathroom, living room, kitchen, dining area, and all that stuff. So it was a good size veranda out that, you know, both people share. And as I already mentioned, I had that apartment for the whole 22 years I was there and never missed a payment. The only time I was even late on a payment is there was some reason that I couldn't pay. My friend was there at the time, and I'm like, hey, can you go up and give Sharon my rent money and I'll pay you back? And he said, sure. But he was like 2 days, I think he was 2 or 3 days late, because my payment would fall on the 20th is when I moved in. So for 22 years, it was always on the 20th, and I was always on time, always. I paid my own light bill. I contributed to the water, and I was the best tenant they ever had. In fact, they had built that house, I think maybe 2 or 3 years prior to me moving in. And all they had was one other tenant before that who only stayed, I think, a year and a half. So I'm the only second tenant. Now they have a third one. Obviously, I'm not there. But I was the longest and best tenant they ever had. There were many, many times for months and months I wasn't there. I wasn't there at all. So there was no, it didn't bother them at all that they were renting to, I don't know, like a vacant tenant, because a lot of times I wasn't there. Anyway, that's not the point. The point is this. Things started breaking down after 22 years. In fact, the first couple of years I was there, they had a wood slat type of door. So all the slats of the wood have been brought together and all that stuff. It's the Jamaican thing. And then they cut it out to make it door size and all that stuff. And it swelled and expanded and swelled and expanded, and it was rotting out. So they replaced the door with a metal door at some point. Yay. But that's all they did. Eventually, my kitchen sink started leaking. I don't think I really complained about that too much. I think I was able to fix part of the leak myself, but there would still be some dripping going on or whatever, and I never figured that out. So I would have like this bowl up underneath the sink, and for the whole time I would stay there, the bowl would fill up, and then I just dump it. I wasn't trying to bug my landlord about stuff. But eventually, things started breaking down. My toilet wasn't working properly, and I had a bucket by my toilet that I would fill up with water to then, when you flush the toilet, it wouldn't flush. And so I just poured the bucket of water in there. And I did that for years and years and years because they never fixed it. I asked her to, but she never did. What was that? Oh, there are so many things. My tile, about 7 or 8 years ago, my tile started bowing up in my bathroom first. And we call it tinting of tile, where it just bows up like that on a grout line all the way down. And it started tearing up in the bathroom. And so eventually when the tile got loose and everything, I would just pull them up and stack them into the hallway, and they just piles of stacked tile. Twist of words. Then my bedroom, a while after that, started tinting. Very, very bad, to the point where I had to remove my bed in order to get the massive tiles that were ruined by the expansion and contraction and all that stuff. And then I stacked those up in the hallway as well. And then I had to put like a raggedy blanket or something down over the concrete, because now the tiles aren't there next to my bed, and I didn't want to step on concrete. In the bathroom, it wasn't as bad. I still had a little tile by the vanity and a little tile over to the right. So that little strip of concrete in the middle didn't really bother me that much. I mean, it still bothered me, but it wasn't like I wasn't going to lose sleep over it. But the bedroom thing really did bother me. And I told my landlord about it too. And she came up at one point. You know, like she came up to do an inspection and she's like, oh yeah, you know, we got to get this tile. And I'm like, yeah. And she promised that she would look after it. And at the same time, she went in the bathroom and noticed that my tub was rusted out. My tub was non-functional after about the 8th or 10th year. I don't remember when, but at some point there was rust corroding the front of the tub, like this far from the bottom. So you could never fill the bath up after that. And it wasn't me. It was just like the nature of the beast, you know, being near the ocean with the salt air and all that stuff, you know, metal tub. And she mentioned when she did the inspection, yeah, I got to take that tub out and build just like one big shower. I'm like, yeah, exactly. Never did it. I had my apartment. There were so many little issues that built up over the years that she promised she would fix, and she never did. When people would come in, they would look at it and like, wow, why don't you have that fixed? I'm like, well, I tried. Yo, a Jamaican would never put up with that. A Jamaican would never put up with that, but because, you know, and that was very annoying. And I don't know how many people go through that where, you know, it would seem to me, if you have a good tenant, same as here or anywhere else, if you have a good tenant, you take care of your tenant. You take some of that money. You could do the math. I was paying roughly $200 a month. It was what was it? How much was it? When I first started out, it was $12,000 because, you know, the rate of the dollar has moved. So $12,000 was equal to about $200. When I left there, I think it was $18,500. I think it was $18,500 or $19,000, which is roughly that a little bit less than $200 because they couldn't increase the rent on a normal basis because they didn't do the work. So I guess the trade-off was you got to deal with a bathtub you can't use. You got to deal with the tile that pops up the floor. You got to deal with a leaky sink and a toilet doesn't work properly because we're not raising the rent. She never said that, but that's the implication. And so I never really pushed really hard to get these things done because I didn't want to be the bitchy tenant. But also because if they did, and well, strike that. So I did tell her at one point, I would rather you charge me more and have a decent apartment the way that I took it when you gave it to me in 2002. I would rather have a decent apartment and you charge me $22,000 or $24,000. I would rather pay more for a better place that I didn't have to be embarrassed about. But that was very annoying. And what was more sucky about that is when these people would tell me to my face, a Jamaican would never put up with that. Like, okay, maybe I'm a wuss. I don't know. But that's another thing I just kind of want to add into the mix because it would not happen here. It would not happen here. We have avenues to take care of that. Like, you know, if things are leaking or things are not working or whatever, we can go to the county and we can complain about it and we can file a complaint and all that stuff and they got to fix it. They got to fix the usable type of stuff. I'm not talking about an old refrigerator or, you know, an old stove or something like that. Like that apartment wasn't furnished and didn't come with that. That was my stuff, my refrigerator, my stove, all that stuff was mine. So we wouldn't have to put up with that here. And we could even hold back rent until the things are fixed legally. We could hold back rent. And I never really pushed that, but it really did irritate me that she didn't take care of me in a better way. Anyway, I thought I'd throw that in there because I don't know if that's atypical of how, well, it's probably not. There are probably, you know, people that have had up and would call out the condition and all that stuff and say that. They're probably right. There's probably some way that you could get it done. But here's the thing too. When I first moved in there, because I'm used to a lease, and I want to know everything that is expected from both sides, because you could write in there anything you want at the bottom of the lease. You could, and then you sign off, you both sign off on it. And then it goes from year to year. I would rather have had a lease, and I brought that idea to her and her husband, and they wouldn't bite. It's like, no, we don't want to sign a lease. And I'm like, yeah, but it's beneficial to both of us. I try to explain. There was even a point, I don't remember when it was exactly, maybe a few years after I moved in, before Airbnb, that I thought, you know what, let me put this out there on the internet. before Airbnb and let me rent it out to somebody to make it easier for them, to make it cheaper for them to come to Jamaica, right? Because my rent was only $200 for the month. So if they paid me $200 for the week, they paid my rent for the month. And then they don't have to worry about paying $200 a night at a hotel. And I did have some takers, some people from Canada and Great Britain, a couple of others. It wasn't a whole lot, maybe 4 or 5. And so I just asked them to give that money to my landlord in lieu of me paying the rent. And then my landlord had a hissy fit because, I don't know, she thought she was missing out on something. She's like, you can't sublet this apartment. That's not really a thing. And I'm like, well, we don't have a lease. So therefore I can, because we don't have a lease that says otherwise. But I still had to respect the fact that it was her house and her rules. But that's why things have to be in writing, including all the construction stuff I talked about. Don't trust nobody. Already assume the worst case scenario and then cross your T's and dot your I's. I'm just saying. But here's the problem. And this doesn't really, it kind of ties into Jamaican people, but it's more about the infrastructure and how things work and how things don't work. But that still ties into Jamaican people and what they will accept and what they won't. And the power outage, oh my God, it's ridiculous. It doesn't even have to rain hard. Yes, if it rains hard, more than likely than not, you're going to have a power outage. And I don't mean a brownout. I mean like overnight, sometimes 2-3 days. And you drive around and you look for a line that's snapped or, you know, a pole that's downed and you can't find it. And you can't even find the workers working on anything. Every once in a while you can. But as a rule, when the power's out, you're toast. I'm a fixer. There are no problems in life. There are only solutions. And maybe that's that first world mentality that I have about me, but it's also from the survival skills that I've accumulated in my life. So what I did when it first happened, first couple of times, is I bought a couple of extension cords that would go from my living room all the way down the hallway, over the veranda, and then to my car. And I bought an inverter. It's a 110 inverter that I just plug into the cigarette lighter. And I didn't have to have the car running because, you know, the battery's not going to die on a few things that I had plugged in. So the inverter was in the car plugged into the cigarette lighter. I would plug in my extension cord to that. And then I'd go upstairs and I could power my laptop and I could power a light. The whole neighborhood was blacked out. And I'm the only one with light because I solved the problem. Yes, I had a boatload of candles in my kitchen drawer. And yes, I would use those for my bedroom, you know, when I was ready to go to bed or whatever. I would use those in the kitchen area and all that stuff. And everybody has candles in Jamaica, or a lamp with kerosene. And I had a lamp with kerosene, but I never used it, mostly candles. But I always had light and I always had power to my laptop. And nobody else did. And I can't figure out why, if they're living there, why would they figure that out? Because there's enough people up in the area that I lived at that well afford the things I'm talking about, some extension cords and an inverter. Because, you know, it's a housing scheme. So I don't know. That's one thing. Other thing is the water. The land of wood and water. But yet the wood is expensive and the water doesn't always flow. And there's no excuse for that. Because it's time after time after time after time. So I understand how when the rain really comes down hard, it floods out the pump stations and this and that, But after about the 3rd or 4th or 5th or 18th or 200th time, fix the problem. If it's flooding out that area, then have some other pumps, have a backup, have some way to mitigate the failures that keep happening. Same thing. I used to collect containers, you know, like the big 5-gallon containers, and I had a bunch of them in my bathroom, as well as the little milk cartons and stuff like that, a bunch of those. I never threw them away. So I had them stacked up in my bathroom for that type of thing. I also, I think it was the first year I was there, I got a tank, a water tank, to go right above the bathroom. And then I plumbed it in from the roof with a pipe down through. And then, yeah, so I had water. All the other people are walking with their containers up and down the road trying to get down to the beach because they have a little hose down there they could fill up the containers, and they're walking back. It's like trudgery. It's like I figured these problems out along the way and find out the solution. to those problems. So they didn't exist for me per se. When I was down there, my landlord had a water heater, but what they would do is when they needed hot water, they would flip it on, the water heater, and then afterward they would flip it off. And I tried to tell them that, well, anyway, you can't tell sometimes a Jamaican anything. If they believe what they believe, you can't give them the real deal because they're always going to push back. But anyway, I got one of these little purse-sized water heaters that actually I plumbed in myself again, to where it went from the vanity sink, the pipe went up and it fed that on-demand water heater, like I said, purse size. So I always had a hot shower when I got back from the beach at the end of the day. I'd have to worry about the landlord switching something on again. So yeah, I figure out the solution to those problems. Sorry, my WhatsApp is blowing up for some reason. So the third one has to do with businesses. So it's not just me. I've watched businesses come and go in Jamaica over and over, mainly because of the buffoonery of all the different hoops that they had to go through. You know, it's a funny thing. It was always a dichotomy to me that there are certain times where things are done that oh, what's that? What's that going on? Like we would have laws against here, but yet they're able to be free to do weird, stupid things there. But yet when the government does something, it's just, it has to be this and the JP stamp and this and that and that and that has to be signed just so and blah, blah, blah. It's very, very frustrating for me as a non-business owner. But I watched McDonald's. They used to have one in St. Anne's Bay. They used to have one in Mobay. They both closed up. From a long time ago, they both closed up. They couldn't deal with it. I saw Rooms to Go in Mobay, and I'm like, ooh, that place won't last, because I'm familiar with Rooms to Go. I'm like, what are they doing here? Like, that won't last. It lasted, I think, about a year and a half. Another guy, and there was a Harley Davidson too in Mobay, and they closed up shop. I think it took them a little longer, about 2 years to close up shop. Yeah, a lot of commercial businesses come and go because they don't want to deal with, you know, the bullshit. But I remember this other guy in Ochi, he had opened up a Greek Euro restaurant. And I'm like, oh, wow, Euros here in Jamaica? That's great, which is basically lamb meat wrapped in, it's very good. And I went in to look at his menu, and he was wanting, I think it was $350 or $500 for a euro and fries. And I'm like, there's no way the people are going to pay you that here. There's just no way. You have to compete with Burger King and all these other places, you know, Juicy Patty. You can't ask for that kind of price. And he's like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. And I've opened restaurants all over the world and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, okay, we'll see. That man lasted, I think it was about a year. Maybe it was about 9 months. But after about roughly a year, he closed up and left. I just see it time and time and again. Mainly because, not because for the other reasons I talked about the commercial places, but because he just didn't have any sense about finances and how things cost and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, off to the next subject. What else did I write? Road 2000 in the hotels in other countries. So yeah, so Road 2000 was PJ Patterson's legacy. He wanted to be known for something. Well, trust me, Road 2000 didn't even get started until in like 2005, 2008, 9, 10. It just kept going and going and going and going. Just money just disappearing. And basically Road 2000 was in an effort to clean up all the stupid potholes that they had everywhere and make a nice road from Mobay to Ochi. And then part 2 would have been Ochi to Portland-ish. And it wasn't done by Jamaicans. They hired it out. Road 2000 was done by another country. But they hired a lot of labor in Jamaica in order to facilitate, you know, their needs there. The Chinese did. And they messed up. There were some snafus along the way. When I would drive out, you know, to Nato Bay or something like that, there'd be a couple of hiccups going on, and, you know, like the road dipped down and all this stuff. And they had to get another company from another country to fix those mistakes. The hotels are generally built by foreign investors. So typically from Spain, which is ironic because Spain was the first one that conquered Jamaica when the Arawaks were there. And now they're re-owning that country because the Spanish hotels there are ridiculously pervasive. They're everywhere. They're from Negril all the way to Mobe, all the way to Ochi, and probably a bunch in Kingston area too that I'm not aware of. But they hired out, it was a mix because I remember in Ochi, they had the hotel now, what's it called? Moon Palace. That used to be the Jamaican Grand. And then they changed the name, but they brought in a bunch of Mexicans for laborers. And a bunch of them never went back. There's a lot of Mexicans in Jamaica that was working on that project that never went back. But they were paying the locals, even the ones they did hire for either Road 2000 or for the hotel, like pennies. Like they weren't paying them good wages. They were being cheap. And then taking all that money and moving it back to Spain or moving it back to Mexico. They weren't spending it there. You see, yes, arguably they contributed to the economy in the fact that people are going there to the hotels and spending money in those resorts, but the resort money is not staying in Jamaica, it's leaving. But, you know, little dirty deals going on behind closed doors at the government level, so there's that too. So what I spoke earlier about is a skin tax, right? You're getting taxed more because you're a tourist or you're foreign. Like, it doesn't make any sense that if you get in a taxi, even if you charter a taxi, it's one price. But if I get in a taxi, it's a whole different price. I rarely took route taxi, but if I did, I would watch people leave and I would watch the money they give to the driver so that I knew, or at least I had a general idea what that ride was going to cost. So I rarely got ripped off with that. But if I went to Dunn's River, which I've only been a few times, it might be, you know, $100 for two people. But if this is one of the things that annoys me. But if I whip out this, all of a sudden that rate drops to a local rate. It doesn't matter if I go to a movie, local rate. If I go anywhere where a tourist or a foreign might go, the rate's always going to be higher. We don't do that here. You don't go to Disney World and get, oh, one rate. You're a tourist? Okay. You're a local? Oh, okay. We're going to have a different rate for you guys. No, you don't. That doesn't happen. And so it really annoyed me that skin tax would kick in because, and I'm not even talking about getting ripped off because that's a whole different thing we could talk about. But if I'm even checking in the hotel, that rate could be different depending on if I'm a local or not. And that's not right. You should appreciate my business because guess what? Here's another thing. What Jamaicans don't understand for some reason is that bad word spreads faster than good word. If I write a review on your Airbnb, or if I write something on hotel.com or wherever I found your hotel at, right? And if I make a bad review about how I got ripped off, that's going to spread faster. But if I just say, oh yeah, things were okay, the room was clean, people are just going to scroll down. They want to know about the bad stuff, you see? That's what people want to know when they write a review. And Jamaicans haven't really gotten up to speed with yes, the internet has come a long way since when I was there, you know, even phone systems and all that stuff. I remember Megaphone. So Megaphone, if enough people remember that are watching this, back in the day before cell phones got traction, Megaphone was this company who they came in and they have a bunch of used phones, and you could call a foreign country and all that stuff for a set rate with this Megaphone, but you had to buy the phone, right? So it was usually a cheesy little phone, but you could do that. And then eventually, it takes a long time for the Jamaica to catch up. Eventually, they got with the program. But more to the point, it's like, get it into your head that a bad review will spread faster. Bad news spreads faster. Like this video, not this video, but the one before it, you know, it got like 3,000 views in only a couple of days because I'm talking smack about something, right? It's only It's only when people bring the truth out and not shine things over that people kind of stand up and listen. So, you know, it's just customer service across the board should be the same. Be the same all the time. There was a point, and this is kind of going off track, but here's case in point. I'm not doing a file. So I have a machete, and they show, oh, you know, we take a file and no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I know an easier way. Let me get a belt grinder, a bench grinder, which is basically this wheel that turns on a, yeah. And so I can just zoop, zoop, like in 2 or 3 minutes, sharpen a machete. So I would go around asking people, you know, like I'd go into arbitrary hardware stores, and you always got that fence up there, so you can't see what they have. A young lady sitting behind the counter, ma'am, do you have a bench grinder? And then she looked down, if she even looked up. Oh, okay, thanks. Go on to the next place, a day or two or a week later. Ma'am, do you have a bench grinder? Finally, after about the 3rd or 4th person I asked, it's like, So the next place, when I asked the question and they shook their head, do you know what a bench grinder is? Then why the frig would you tell me you don't have one when you don't know what the hell I'm talking about? Like here, they were like, oh, I don't know. What is that thing? And then you would Google a picture, or we would explain to them, you know what? I think we do have something like that. They don't do that in Jamaica. It drives me batshit crazy. But I understand from her perspective, back then, oh, I'm making my $3 grand a week. I make my $3 grand a week, whether I provide good service or bad service, doesn't matter to me. What they don't understand is if that business goes out of business, you don't have a job. So you have to be somewhat married to that job and provide good customer service so people will come back. It's the same story. It's basically the same story I told about my speakers and how that guy was so concerned about that little $300, which really at that time was $5 US. He was so concerned about that little 300 for the tweeters he put in speakers that always come with tweeters, that he was willing to take up my 3,500 or whatever it was, 3,300 or whatever the price was that I said on that video, and take that up and never see me again. Because right now matters. Not tomorrow, not the referral that you can give me, not my future, but right now matters. It's like the same taxi driver that's going to rip you off for that 150 drive, and they're going to charge you 250 or 300. You think I'm going to use him again? No. Enjoy your extra $100 because you'll never see it again, not from me. Not only that, I'm going to chat. Oh, speaking of chatting, this is a good segue into that too. Pasta thing. It runs deep. Let me tell you, it runs deep. Pasta is Jamaican basically for rumors and gab between neighbors and stuff like that, you know, secrets that are told and stuff like that. And people will make stuff up. It may not be true, but they will make it up. Getting back to my apartment that I had, I never got friendly with my neighbors. So when they see me come and go with this person or that person, or they just see me come and go and I'm gone for 2 days, or whatever the case is, they never ask because we don't have a friendship. I don't want them to know anything about me. Because whatever it is you tell them, it's going to get exaggerated. Their neighbor is going to tell that neighbor, who's going to tell that neighbor, who's going to tell that neighbor, and all of a sudden the whole neighborhood knows your business. And most of the times it won't even be true. Yes, it's a big thing there, which I don't really understand. You know, we basically mind our own business here. And this kind of ties into the skin tax a little bit, but it also ties into that chatty type of thing. At one point, I had captured land. And I know a lot of people think, oh, captured land, you must be really poor or this or that or whatever. It's a long story. And if people aren't familiar with it, then it doesn't really make any sense. But anyway, I had a little lot. It was a small lot, maybe a 1/4 acre, amongst dozens of other people. And I had waited for probably about 2 years. So I cleaned it off all the time. I wired it, which the wire gets stolen. I wired it, cleaned it off, and after I started seeing people use block instead of ply and tin, like I just wanted to see people were real out there. So I waited till some people, other people started building before I started doing my thing. And then I brought up the process to where I'm going to have an apartment, like a 1-bedroom bachelor type apartment. It would have a small kitchen and a small bathroom, and then a 15 by 15 square room. And then I would have one to the left and one to the right. So there'd be 3 of them at the bottom. My house would have been at the top. But building that one room from the get-go was a big pain. Not from the start necessarily, but as I got further into the process and I needed some grills done. So I was dumb enough, and this is another heads up to people watching that, and some of these vloggers, like I saw this one family from Great Britain that are trying to build in Jamaica and going through basically the same heartache and exacerbation that I went through. But I could have told them that when I went through this, 8 years ago. The guy who did my grills, name is Robert, and he's right up the road. He's in the next scheme. And made a deal with Robert, and he did some work while I was there, but I was getting ready to leave. So I said, how much to finish out? And he did a great job at doing this roller type grill on the front door where you could just open it up and roll it. I love that. But I still needed, for the front and the back veranda, I needed a bunch more work done. So I said, how much is that going to cost? And he said, and he got up the number, it was about 80 grand. So I said, okay, 80 grand, fair price. We shook on it. Big mistake. And I gave him the 80 grand. Big mistake. Never, ever pay a Jamaican ahead of time on any project that you're getting done. And even if you do, only pay for the material ahead. That's hard too. Robert probably had a lot of rebar. He had a lot of stuff left over from other jobs. So he could have went ahead and did that job and taken out that material or his own money. And then when it's finished, I pay him. Anyway, I was gone for a couple of months and he said he would be done at the end of that month. So I hit him up. Hey, you finished yet? No, not as yet. I'm like, wow. Second month in. Oh, you finished? Because I thought it would be finished by the time I reached, right? It should have been. That's what we agreed on. And he bled out that whole 8-9 week period before I got back. And toward the end, I was like pissed at him. And I was telling him, when I get down there, that shit better be done. And I'm going to come, I had to be mean with him, which I didn't want to do. But because he took that money to now either go buy groceries or make a payment on a car, I don't know what he used the money for. I think he financed material for another job he was doing. That's what I think. Be that as it may, the work was pretty much 95% done by the time I reached. 95%. It wasn't finished, but good enough. I will never hire Robert again, nor will I ever recommend him to somebody else. Even though he did good work, he took forever to get it done, and it wasn't the agreement that we made. There was another incident where I had this Rasta doing the block, and I had a barrel. I think I had a barrel to use for water and a hose stolen from him. Yeah, he stole my stuff. And then the rumor in the neighborhood was that you didn't pay him his whole amount, and that's why he took your stuff, which was not true. But somebody in that neighborhood, remember the Pasa Pasa? Right. Somebody in that neighborhood started that rumor and it spread around. And by the time I heard it, it was a complete lie. And I still don't know why he stole my stuff, because he was paid in full and I never saw him again. He did excellent work, but I don't know. Just trust. It's a big trust issue. Getting back to my little apartment that I was building up, right? So I had got broken into at that first sliding gate or the first sliding door that was up there, the grill that was up there, I had gotten broken into. I had an inside lock that was hard. It would have been hard to manage to cut it off, but they managed to cut it off. And there was really nothing in there. It's a wheelbarrow and some block. I think there was a 100 block in there or something like that. So there was really nothing to steal, but they didn't know that, so they broke in anyway. And my neighbor, which I could see right next door, he was finishing out his place. Hey, you see who broke in? No, I mean, I see nothing. Wow. You can't hear anything either? All right. Remember what I said. I'm a problem solver, right? So the problem will now beget a solution. And that's when I had the front and the back veranda put on with the grill on that and a double lock and a chain and all that stuff. And then I had like a deer camera. I think I mentioned this on my other video. I had a deer camera on a pole with that camera facing. And then I got a car battery with a motion detector alarm, with a car alarm and some lights. So if somebody passed by the front, plus the lights. They broke in and stole all that. They stole the battery and the car alarm and all that stuff. Through the veranda and into the next sliding gate, they stole up all that stuff. And I know me. And what I would have done is put out a bunch of $1,000 bills leading up to that sliding gate, locked myself inside, and I would have waited for somebody to come up. And somehow or another, I would have got a hold of a gun and I would have shot them on the spot. And then I would have put a machete in their hand. And then I'd be locked up. And I didn't want that to happen to me. So it was better for me, since my whole neighborhood. Let me tell you something. If something happened to my neighbor right next door and I saw somebody break in, oh yeah, they're already dead. Before they could get their whole foot in the house, they're already dead. If they don't belong, they're dead. And I would do the same thing. I would put something in their hand. Oh, they came at me. It was danger, blah, blah, blah. And then, yeah, I would be vindicated. There's no charges that would be filed. But in Jamaica, they're afraid of the bad man. They're like, if I rat on the bad man, he'll come after me. It's like, what? The sign you should be sending is the bad man died doing a dirty deed. So let's not go in that neighborhood again because we might die too. That's how we feel here. But in Jamaica, they don't rat. Snitches get stitches or whatever the case is. So and it wasn't to the point where I was married necessarily to the property. It was a nice property. It was on Seaside, and it would have been nice to have my second level up where I could look out at the ocean and all that stuff, but I wasn't married to it. So at the end of the day, to protect my own self, I decided to sell it off. And you can't sell off captured land, the land itself, but you can sell off the building. And so I just sold it a little bit above what I paid for all the material and the labor and all that stuff. So I kind of walked away from that and never looked back. So yeah, unfortunately, that's just the cold, hard facts about living in Jamaica, about spending any time there, about building there, about trying to get around there, about trying to buy anything there. And as I said before, it's not, you know what it is? It's death by 1,000 cuts. Because it's not one thing or two or three or four or five. When the dozens of things over and over and they don't change it to make it better, when it wears on you after a while. So it's a death by 1,000 cuts. And it was just better to leave. One of the things that irritated me to no end, and still does if people do it here, but they rarely would do it here, is jumping in line. So I'm standing in line, there's maybe two people ahead of me, and then somebody just jumps, they just jump in line and and they're trying to get a phone card or cigarettes or whatever. And the Chinese people who generally run the stores will not say, hey, sir, get to the back of the line. They'll just take up for that guy who was rude enough to jump ahead of you. That's annoying to no end. Small potato, but it's one of those cuts of, the death of 1,000 cuts type of thing. And it infuriates me. Sometimes I'll say something. And a lot of times, oh, sorry, and they'll move behind because most people aren't going to say anything. Sometimes it causes a little drama. I don't care about the drama because that was rude. I'm standing in line, you stand in line too. Same as that traffic situation that I told you about on the last video. One of the other things that kind of bugs me, although it's not related to me in particular, when I would drive around the different parishes, and trust me, I've driven the whole island. I've gone all the way from Mobay to Lucy to Negril to Sablamar to Black River, to Kingston to Yalis, to Port Antonio, and all the way back again, many, many times, and back over, as I mentioned before, over Flatbridge and all that stuff before the Beijing Highway. The Beijing Highway got built. It was only Flatbridge way that you could go up and dump you into Spanish Town. And I used to drive around Spanish Town because it had a bad rep. And so I would do everything I could to drive around Spanish Town. Even before I left, if I had a reason to go out to Portmore or somewhere like that, I would still make my way up to Angel Plaza. And then at Angel, I could jump on the freeway. But I would navigate the best way I could around to get to Angel in the freeway in order to avoid Spanish Town or any type of trouble. But yeah, just little annoyances. What's the other thing? Oh, schools. Yeah, so as I was driving around different parishes, I would notice all the schools, whether they were primary schools or high schools or whatever, with the way that they are. I don't know how the students get any studying done with no AC. These schools have no AC. Very, very basic. It's like this one big block room with some desks and maybe a chalkboard. And that's it. No comfort, no creature comforts at all. In the school, I didn't Google, but you could Google how much the Jamaican government makes off of tourism, right? And it's in the hundreds of millions every year. The hundreds of millions US dollar every year. And you can't afford an air conditioning for a school? Another pet peeve. Taxi fare. Why do you as a parent have to provide for all the uniforms, which a lot of mothers can only afford one and they wash it every day? Why do they have to provide the lunch money and the snack money and the taxi fare like we have school buses here? It's compulsory to go to school here. But there they can't afford it. Kid comes out of school for a year, maybe two, before they can afford to put them back in. But yet the government has all this money, and I understand they have some school buses that got shipped recently to Jamaica. I wonder how that's going to work out. But yeah, school buses. Why do I have to pay for my kid coming and going to go to school from the time they're 5, 6 years old? It makes no sense. Whole nother video I could talk about, and I won't get into that. So let me get into the comment section, because clearly this video is going to run over an hour, and I got to put in my 4 eyes in order to read this to you. Hold on. Another one, Sug Audrey. It's because all these persons have livelihood that depends on how they promote Jamaica, so they have to say only good. As a Jamaican, I will try to give you some perspective and some balance on what you are feeling and have experienced. First of all, you are 100% correct about the negative. It's all true. Maybe if I wasn't born and grown in Jamaica, I would have and feel the same way you do also. But honestly, I think the positive outweighs the negative overall. Jamaica really is a great place naturally, but it has a lot of problems. And there are reasons for this. Jamaicans have had to go through a lot of their journey and existence, and the people have had to do whatever they have to do to survive. So while it's repulsive to you, this is just what hard life makes people do. All poor Caribbean countries who went through slavery and are just trying to recover will give you similar experience. As a contrast, where I am living now, I think the majority of people are mentally slow because they grew up with trivial first world problems and don't have any understanding of how life works. I think what happened to you is someone sold you a perfect vision of Jamaica, which is the lie that they give all outsiders, and then the truth has slowly surfaced and brought you back to reality in a negative way, which is why you feel how you feel. This is what they do to all foreigners because it's a poor country. Jamaica heavily depends on foreign benevolence, for want of a better word. I migrated from Jamaica over 10 years ago, and now people want to try to sell me the perfect picture as if I wasn't born and raised there and that I know what the real deal is. I ignore those idiots, especially real estate agents who will sell you their mothers to try and get you to buy some property. They are high-level scammers. The problem is you don't have my perspective, so that's why you get tricked. What I will say is try to balance it through everywhere in the world has good or bad. Yeah, I hear that a lot. Everywhere in the world has good or bad. Put a bookmark there. And you just have to understand how to take what people need from everywhere. I migrated to the first world country, and at first it seemed perfect to me, but also then I have slowly come to realize the flaws here too, and I'm also hate it. But comparing it to my Jamaica experience helped me to realize that everywhere has good and bad. So I utilize the good from both Jamaica and where I'm at now, and I criticize them both and appreciate them both. And it's the same here in the first world country. The people get very defensive if you say anything that's wrong with a place or criticize it, or even though there are some stupid things that happen here, similar to Jamaica. So I would say that just use the best of both worlds, but don't let your original misconception just totally taint Jamaica for you. That's what I do. I make my money here and go to Jamaica periodically for fun, relaxation, and rejuvenation. That's how you do it. You don't need to be everybody's friend or open up yourself for everybody to scam you. Keep around you people who don't need anything from you. Go to nice hotels, relax at the beach, go to the food places, watch a play, go to a concert, do all those things and make Jamaica the great place it is, but most importantly, go back home. And that was well said, and I appreciate that. And it was well said. But I will push back on a couple of things. I'm not going to go to a place where I live at, strike that. I'm not going to go to a place that I'm visiting and try and only look at the good. When I first went to Jamaica, I wanted to explore. I wanted to see how the natives lived. I went to the clock. Every town has a clock from the British days. So I went to the clock, not in Ochi, where the pier is at, where the tourists come off the ship. I crossed over the bridge and went over to the clock, and I tried to assimilate the best I could in the way that they live their lives. So I don't want to be insulated from the bad. I want to know about the bad. The faster the better, especially if I'm going to live there, but even as a tourist. But what she said is true. There's good and bad for everywhere. But never would you hear me say America is great. Never would you be able to convince me that New York City is a nice place. And I'm not going to defend New York City. And I'm not going to defend Chicago. There are places in the United States that I have very low regard for. And so if somebody talks smack about it, I'm going to nod my head and go, yep, you're right. So what do they call it? It's like a reversal. So when people say, well, there's good and bad about every place, you can't just say that one place is bad and think because that's the mentality they have. If I'm talking smack about Jamaica, it must be that this is all beautiful, and it's not. But it's not all the things that I mentioned on that video. We don't have people overtaking and making 5 lanes on the freeway. We don't have people jumping in front of you in line. Are you kidding me? Do you know how many people would have a hissy fit if somebody jumped in line here? We don't have people blasting. We have a noise level, a decibel, and the police will come out, and if you don't follow that decibel, and it doesn't mean that's good or bad, it just is what it is. So it's quiet. Where I'm at, it's quiet. I don't have to worry about taxis blowing their horn or goats or roosters or I don't have to worry about that noise level. I don't have to worry about people putting speakers in their car windows and driving up the road, advertising Quartz furniture and all that stuff, at a ridiculous volume. I don't have to worry about all the things I mentioned on that other video. All of those negatives I mentioned on the other video, I don't have to worry about here. Period. End stop. So America isn't the best, but it's a whole lot better than Jamaica in 250 years to Jamaica's 400 plus years. So how did we get so far ahead, it's because the Jamaicans don't want it to go ahead. If they wanted to, they would. There was a Jamaican neighbor I had in another place I lived at back a while back, and I knew he was Jamaican, or I knew he was from the Caribbean, because when I first saw him out in his yard, he's cutting grass with a machete over by the side of his house. It could have been just weeds, but he was cutting it. I'm like, yo, I got a weed eater. And it was, well, I actually saw the tag on his truck. He was from Jamaica, so I kind of knew that already just by that. And I just brought over my weed eater, and he's like, nah, let me do it the old-fashioned way. Okay. You sharpen your machete still with a file? Because I got a bench grinder. It just doesn't make any sense to me to suffer and to make life harder. One of the things that I pride about America, as I said before, I'm a problem solver. There are no problems, only solutions. So we come up with a solution that's easier and better. You know, work smarter, not harder. And that's why we go up. And Jamaica doesn't want to go up. If they would, if they wanted to, they would. Because I know that that people go away. They go to Canada, Great Britain, America, and they live here for 20, 30 years. But in the meantime, they go back for Christmas, so they go back whenever. But if they're going to St. Andrew, St. Catherine, like anywhere on the south side, right, they're not going to go there. They're going to stay on the north side. They're going to stay in Ochi or Mobe because they don't want to be that close to the relatives. Oh, and by the way, can you leave your shoes? You don't need them. Like, and then of course, when they're coming, they're always asking for a barrel. They're always, oh, can you pack up this? Can you bring me that? And I get that. That's a small potato thing. But yeah, you have to be aware of that too, because you're going to get slammed with all these requests of people wanting stuff. Man, speak the truth. Love to the eye. That's from George. Andre says, every man entitled to their views. Thank you, Andre. The question I would like to ask is, why did you spend such a long time there if it is so bad? And then my response, same reason a marriage can last 20 years and then you get perspective and you get divorced. Like, simple as that, literally. And then Jacqueline Merkel, I can't pronounce the last name, but Jacqueline says, we don't manufacture guns, so I wonder how and where we got them from. And then I responded, that's part of the corruption, packed in a barrel and brought into Kingston or Mobe with people paid off to look the other way. You know, easy as that. You love what you love and you don't like certain things. Fair enough. Fair enough is what they meant to say. That's from Everell. Speaking the truth is a good thing. Thank you, sir, Mr. Chris. The reality is Jamaica is paradise on earth. This issue is the corruption and that they are the top politicians. Ooh, that's a long comment. You're going to have to read it yourself. Sharika Golden says, he's not lying. Maybe most of us hate hearing the truth from an outsider's perception. However, collective, most of us also know how things are fucked up and stuck in our own dirty way that we can be. Yeah, so there's a lot. You can go through all the comments. There's enough of both. There's enough hate to me and my perspective and my view, and there's enough love that shines a little brighter when they say, you have a good point. Things are bad and good in every country, but that's kind of like shining, you know, as I said from the very beginning of the video, there's enough people on YouTube that, especially now, Jessica Cargill is a diver. She's actually Jamaican heritage, but she moved to Jamaica probably about 15 years ago from where she was at in Europe. And she's Jamaican heritage. And you can go look at her channel. She did me dirty too. As much respect as I had for her and as much first world upbringing that she had, she got into that Jamaican mindset eventually, and she kind of did me dirty too. And she's big on YouTube, and she talks about, you know, how great Jamaica is and blah, 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 blah. there's such a mindset when you are born and raised in Jamaica, in order to understand fully the culture and what to say and what not to say and how to say it and how to put yourself on guard to where you don't get taken advantage of. The learning curve is at childhood, not at 40 years old when I went there. The learning curve happens early. You have to be raised there to understand. Because if you don't understand, it's going to be more stress on you than it's worth. It's just not worth it to me. As I said on my other video, I'll go to Barbados or I'll go to another island in the Caribbean and try and search for better people. Because at the end of the day, the Caribbean's the Caribbean. I love the water. I love all of this. But there's all of this spread out through the Caribbean. But I'm looking for the hospitality. I'm looking for the respect. I'm looking for the safety. That's what I'm looking for after all this time. And I've dabbled in the Philippines, and so far, so good. There's a lot of the same stuff that goes on there that goes on in Jamaica. And for that reason, I'm not going to big up Jamaica or big up the Philippines as this, fantastic place to go to unless you're rich. Because if you're rich and you move to Manila, you'll probably never experience what I experience, right? But I can deal with it more. You know why? Because I feel safer there, because I feel respected there, because they talk to me properly and in a way that makes me feel, thank you for coming. That's how I feel there. I never felt that way in Jamaica. There's always somebody trying to take advantage. When I come into Mobay, there's a hotel across the street. Asks a taxi driver, hey, can you give me a ride up there? He's like, sure. Like, how much? $20 US. Get the fuck out of here, $20 US. I'll walk before I give you $20. And it would take me 10 minutes to walk. And then he would have to drive and just come back around, make a U-turn, come back around, go right up the hill. It would take him like 5 minutes. And he wanted $20? That's a $5 ride. At best, a $5 ride, not 20. Anyway, enough said. I probably will not have a part 4 unless I can think of some other things. And there's a whole heap of things I can think of. Trust me. But I will probably not have a part 4. I think this is the last in the series about Jamaica. Unless you have something to say that changes my mind. But I feel like I've said enough. I feel like enough people. I don't want natives to watch this and push back. Although put in the comment section your thoughts. I'm looking at the newbies, the people that come there for the first time, either on a visit, contemplating moving there, or have already moved there in their first year, second year, third year. That's what I want my audience to be, because I want forewarning. Because there was no internet when I went down there. There was no YouTube when I went down there. So with any luck, people will take heed and understand, from a real point of view and not, as that woman said, all the glitz and glamour that they give to Jamaica because of this. Anyway, enough of that. Thanks for watching. I appreciate your patience because I know it's been a long one, over an hour. Sorry. I tried to make it sooner, but motor mouth, I can't. I have to put as much information. It's always better, more information than not enough is the way I look at it. So anyway, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Make sure you like and subscribe and share and do all those things, or not. But you could. Doesn't cost you anything. Hit the like button.